trading Patrik Laine would be a big mistake. I could end the video right there for you, and I wouldn't really need to say anything else because that's my belief. And it's really hard for me to make this video and come at it from a different angle and try to see both sides of the argument about why people see Patrik Laine as a trade asset or why people don't see Patrik Laine as a trade asset, even though that I would say the majority of Jets fans, about 90% I would say, maybe even more than that, 95 I would even go up as far to say, don't want to trade Laine. And it's for obvious reasons, and I don't even understand why I have to explain it. Just because a guy goes into a slump and has these rumors and stuff like that, that shouldn't be enough to want to trade a player like Laine, because he still had a great year this year in my opinion. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Was it still a very solid year and an improvement to what we saw? Yes. And that is why I don't understand these trade rumors. If we, basically to summarize why I'm making this video now, it's because of what I saw recently on Twitter. I saw, and excuse me if I'm mistaken on who said this quote, but I know the quote is what it is, I just don't know who said it, but I believe it was Elliot Friedman who said that Patrik Laine wants to play with Mark Scheifele. That is what he wants to do, that is where he wants to be on this role in the offense. The organization doesn't see that as a long-term fit or as a good fit right now. And that is what's making Laine question his long-term availability with Winnipeg and whether or not he wants to even play there long-term if that's going to be the situation. And that, to me, is the biggest travesty I've ever heard in my life. If we lose Patrik Laine because Paul Maurice is too thick-headed and stubborn to realize how good of a player he is and give him the minutes and the proper offensive time with the players that he deserves, that is the biggest travesty to happen to a modern-day NHL team in a very long time. Not only are we the fact that do we not suck and we're not losing a player because we're bad and because he wants to win, we're losing him because we apparently have too much other better talent than Laine and we can just cast him off, even though he could be one of the most elite players and face of the league in like 5-6 years. Who knows how good he could become. Him, Matthews, there's still so much potential in these guys to even blossom into levels of Crosby and other guys. And now I'm not saying they're there now, but there is potential to get to that level one day if they can keep improving where they are. And trading players of that level at this young of an age after the seasons that they've had is just ridiculous. Patrik Laine, since joining the Winnipeg Jets in 2016-2017 for that NHL season, has been third in the team in points, only behind Wheeler and Scheifele, who should be his permanent line mates until he's struggles and obviously chemistry issues and shaking up lines and whatnot, but that should be the starting lineup. Or at least a version of it with Laine and Scheifele on it. And if you disagree, I don't understand why you disagree. Kyle Connor is a great goal scorer. That is very true. He does thrive a lot on being with a Mark Scheifele. But Blake Wheeler and Kyle Connor can still put up points together on a second line. That's basically a first line depending on who you slot down the middle. And hell, if you slot down Wheeler down the middle and you put Ehlers on that other side, that again is even a stacked line in my opinion if that chemistry can get going. Yeah, Wheeler may not be the most consistent center, but even then, that is a better option. Trading Laine just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to misuse a guy and piss him off that much to the point where he wants to be traded off of a team that's pretty good, that has made the playoffs for the last 3 years, this year wasn't good, and the year before that in St. Louis was pretty bittersweet, but the year after that, we went to Western Conference Finals. A lot of young guys can't say they've had that much success or even getting to the playoffs at this point. He's won more than Austin Matthews has. Now, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound to Leafs fans, but that's a fact. Laine has had playoff experience and meaningful playoff experience. He played 17 playoff games in 2017-2018, putting up 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points. That is a meaningful playoff run. The year after that, in only 6 games, he put up 3 goals and an assist for 4 points. Again, meaningful playoff games from a meaningful young developing player who is an elite all-star offensive guy. Why trade him? He obviously shows that he has the numbers. Just because he slumped from 44 goals to 30 goals, obviously, that's a big wow, is he bad or whatever, but that doesn't matter. He dropped in 2 goals this year, but we had a pandemic. Who knows how Laine could have got a fucking 5-goal game before the pandemic even kicked in. No one could say that couldn't have happened. That's the type of player he is. That's how streaky he is. Patrik Laine may be streaky. Patrik Laine may have flaws as a young offensive player. Who doesn't as an offensive prospect in the NHL? Even defensive prospects take even longer to even get to that point of being good and being that level that they were in junior. It takes time in the NHL, and giving up on Laine after just 4 years of pretty good dominance in the NHL as a young coming up player is just the stupidest thing ever because you misuse him. The biggest thing that causes this trade rumors with the Winnipeg Jets and between Patrik Laine is the stupid wedge between Paul Maurice. If Paul Maurice would just give Patrik Laine the playing time that he deserves with the players that he wants to play with, that he feel like can have the best success, Give it a freaking shot, and give it more than a shot for than just a couple games. Roll with it. The Winnipeg Jets have such a dynamic offense because they have so many dynamic players, yet they roll out the most stale, consistent, boring top six with the most skilled guys I've ever seen. We misuse our talent so much. I'm baffled Kyle Connor even wanted to sign with the Jets long term, and that's honestly coming from the biggest diehard Jets fan I can. And if you are a Jets fan at heart, you will agree with me. We have elite offensive players that we use in borderline garbage ways on offense. Dump and chase, basic entries, power plays that are as boring as a beer leaguer. Run them through your best passer, and if it doesn't work, reset through your best passer. And then what happens when you give it to your guys and your best shooters? That's all the Winnipeg Jets power play has been for the last 3 years. Get it to Wheeler, let him distribute the puck, and if that doesn't work, give it back to Wheeler and let him try again. And if that doesn't work, well, shit, we're out of luck. Maybe Nikolai Ehlers can get a little puck mobility with the last 45 seconds of the power play on the second unit. That's basically been the Jets' power play. Now, yes, we've had success in 2017-18 when we went all the way. We had tons of success. But that's not now. That's not when the league and everyone has figured it out. There are better teams that have passed us in our own division that are coming up. Colorado is coming up hungry. Dallas is in our division and is the Cup final this year. St. Louis, the Cup winner last year. The Central is tough. Chicago is even making a comeback, it looks like, maybe in the next few years on getting back to a competitive level. What is Winnipeg's excuse for not being able to compete when they already have the talent? We missed our window. It wasn't even supposed to be the Jets' window at that time. Trading Laine has nothing to do with him being a bad player or anything to do with chemistry or whatnot. It's just that Paul Maurice doesn't want Laine on the team. And this is coming from a Jets fan. This is every article, every bit of media that I've ever read about the Jets. Yeah, there have been problems with Laine and his teammates, and who knows what goes on in the locker room with leadership. But when it comes down to the main issues, anytime Patrik Laine's name gets thrown into the mix, it's because Paul Maurice and him talking about how he feels like he's being misused. If you don't misuse elite players, maybe they don't want to get traded. It's stupid to me. I'm surprised Nikolai Ehlers hasn't requested a trade yet with the way that things are going. Him and Laine could be elite players on any other team and would be all-stars in the media if they were in American teams especially. Yet, Nikolai Ehlers doesn't get the attention that he should, and he doesn't get the even playing time that he should because of how good of a player he is. Nikolai Ehlers could be on the top line over Kyle Connor, in my opinion. He's more of a dynamic player than Connor. Why not have a guy like that? But no, we keep the lines the exact same, and then what happens when our elite players who don't get the opportunities as others, because the lines stay the same, even when we lose, they get upset, and that is exactly what has happened with Patrik Laine. That is the most honest, truthful thing I can say about this whole situation. If the Jets really want to keep Laine happy, they have to get rid of Paul Maurice. Paul Maurice it's done. He's done with the team. It showed after this year, and it showed last year. He has lost control of the team. He's got no direction on how he wants to drive the offense because he's playing the guys in completely wrong situations. The Winnipeg Jets should be an elite offensive team, even with how bad they are defensively. If the Maple Leafs can do it, the Jets can too with their talent. I know they have John Tavares, but the Jets have just as much of all-around talent as the Leafs offense can when they play right, and they should be playing at that level, not at a level of a beer league team or of a team that's just basically trying to get that 8th seed with dump and chase, hard-hitting board hockey, and just trying to beat out your opponent in the long game. That's how we lost in the playoffs last year. True, but trying to play it out, do the stupid plays. Is this the type of direction that we want the future of our team to be? Pissing off young talent so we can keep old vets that shouldn't even be here on massive contracts happy? If you're a Jets fan, you need to take a real hard look at the way this team's being run within how much Paul Maurice has control over this roster. It is completely unfair, and it is driving players to not want to be here anymore. Paul Maurice is the main reason that Patrik Laine should be traded, or wants to be traded, I guess I should be saying, excuse me. And if you're doing this, if you disagree with me, you need to reevaluate the situation, because anytime his name has been brought up, or anything to do with how Paul Maurice and Laine don't have connection, or he doesn't feel like the team wants to use him properly, or he feels like he's being misused, whatever it has to do, that's when the trade rumors start. So maybe if you can make Laine actually happy for once and give him the best opportunity to be the guy who can get 44 goals or get to that 50-goal level, give him the best players to do so. If you guys let me know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know this seems like a very biased video, and it is. I love Patrik Laine, but at the same time, I love the Winnipeg Jets. They're my team. I root for them like all you other fans do, and I hate seeing them being run in such a shit direction when I know that they have the talent to be better, because I've seen them be better. You don't go from being in the Western Conference Final to getting kicked out of the playoffs basically in the first rounds, and not even making the playoffs, I guess to say this year, technically, with the offense that you have. If you want to lose at least in the 7 games. At least the Leafs can lose in Game 7s in the first rounds. The Jets can't even be able to force it there. They need to reevaluate the way this team is being coached and how the players are being used. And maybe if we do that, we can finally start to get these players working together in a tandem and getting our offense to the level that it totally can be, and not the stale, boring, basic cookie-cut offense that has been seen for the last 3 years and hasn't changed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as always, guys. If you're new to the channel, you enjoyed the video, drop a subscription as usual, and thank you for listening to my thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts are on Laine, and try to keep it civil, I guess I should say. We're all fans, even if we have different opinions, even if I seem, angry and passionate or whatever. It's mostly just passion and with a little bit of frustration, so no one take it personal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.